Hello, first grade friends. It's me, Miss Brown. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week, and I hope that you continue to have a wonderful week learning at home. I have our checklist in our blue folder here for next week. I wanted to go over it and kind of explain and make sure that everyone is understanding what needs to be done for blue folders every week. All of you first graders have done this all year, so you all should know how to do this work independently. This word work this week is going to be a little bit different. We have Scrabble spelling. Scrabble spelling is something you have not done yet this week, and I'm going to explain to you what to do for that in a minute. You have your ABC order, your missing letter, and your words in your word book. All of you should be able to sit down and get that done very quickly, seeing that we've done that all year, and you have done that as independent work all year long. You have your listening for this week. Parents, you may have found that there is a playlist that will have all of our listening for blue folder in it. This week you're going to listen to Franklin Plays the Game. You're going to illustrate and write what lesson did Franklin learn. First graders, you're probably going to ask, how many sentences do I have to write? All of you know a first grade expectation, and you know what is expected for your first grade writing. You all also know that writing in 1 or 2 sentences is not first grade work. We need lots of detail in your writing. We also need some very nice detailed illustrations. That means we're not drawing in just pencil. We are drawing first grade drawings and writing first grade writing. Please keep that in mind, that even though you're at home doing this work, we are still doing first grade level work. For this week, you will read Owl at Home. Please, friends, do not be overwhelmed by this book. There are a few chapters. It is a chapter book. Please break up the chapters so that you are not reading this all in one sitting if you do not want to. Some of you may want to sit down and read the whole book, but some of you may read a chapter at a time as you need. You're going to read the first 3 chapters to a parent. You're going to read 4 and 5 silently. Even though you're reading silently, you can still ask your parents what words are if you get stuck on a word. You're then going to do a word find sheet for Owl at Home. I'm also going to explain that sheet to you and give you some reminders as to what we're looking for. You will have a piece of white paper. You're going to fold it into fourths. All of you know what fourths are. We've talked about fourths. That is 4 squares that are equal. Then you're going to illustrate it and write a sentence about 4 of the chapters. So that is your choice. You may pick any 4 chapters to write about. Please remember that when we write and illustrate on white paper, you're going to have to be extra careful as to how we write. You're going to need to make sure that your writing stays neat and it stays small enough that we can read it, but not so small that we cannot read it. You're also going to need to leave some room for an illustration. If it would help, your parents may draw lines for you to write on. I know a lot of you have found your poems. I've heard lots of parents say that that is one of the first things you guys have chosen to do is illustrate your poems. That is wonderful. I'm so glad that you guys are excited to illustrate poems. But also remember that that can be some of our fun and easier work to do. So you may even want to save that for when you're getting a little bit tired of some of your other work. I strongly encourage that all parents have your children start with our word work. You're also going to journal. In your red journal, all of you know how to journal. You're going to journal what is it like doing school at home. Friends, you know that we write neat on the little lines. We do not write large, and we draw a very nice picture to go with it. Again, all of you know what we expect is first grade work. Please do not answer that in 1 or 2 sentences. I would like lots of detail as to what it is like doing school at home. I want to know, what is it like doing school at your home? I'm sure everyone's schedules are looking a little bit different, and I'm sure everyone's schooling at home is looking a little bit different. I want to know what your schooling is looking like. Lastly, you're going to do an AR quiz. I know a few of my friends have figured out that movies aren't always the same as the books. They change a lot of details in movies from the books. So please make sure you're taking AR quizzes only on the books. Lastly, you'll do your self-assessment. All of you know how to do your self-assessments. Think of something that you might want to work on next week, something that maybe you need to do a little bit better at next week. Also, under your choice, I've had a few parents ask about your choice. These are all things that your child may do at any point in time. I'll tell you now, our poetry notebook is at school. You may always write a note to a friend. That would be a fun thing to do right now, seeing that we have not seen some of our friends in a while. Our writing folders are at school as well. There's always some educational computer games that we can play. There's ABC, Reading Eggs. I know there have been lots of websites that have come out. Please make sure that computer games is not the only thing we're doing. Computer games can be a great extra instructional tool, but we also want to remember that there's other ways to learn, including going outside on nice days and playing. You may always read silently. A picture prompt. You may have your parents pick a picture that you can write about. Or you might find a picture that you would like to write about. Maybe it's in a book. Maybe it's in a magazine that you've seen at home. Maybe it's a picture that you've printed from online. Maybe your parents could help you find a picture. Maybe it's an animal. Maybe it's a vehicle. Maybe it's a setting. You guys choose if you would like to do a picture prompt. That would be fun to see what some of you are writing about. You may also do a squiggle. I know we've sent a couple squiggles home, but your parents are more than welcome to give you your own squiggle writing. Parents, it is as simple as drawing a couple random lines and letting your child make a picture out of those random lines. Then they will write a story about the picture that they have drawn. My first graders have loved doing doing squiggle writing. Now, to explain some of this other stuff, our Scrabble spelling. I'm going to pick our first word. Our first word is prank. You're going to write the word. Next, you're going to find out how many points it's worth. So let's find the P. Our P is worth 3 points. We're now going to find our R. Our R is worth 2 points. Now we're going to find our A. Our A is worth 1 point. Now we're going to find our N. Our N is also worth 1 point. Lastly, we're going to find our K. Our K is worth 3 points. You are going to add it all together. You're going to find that prank is going to add up to 10 points total. You're going to do that for all of your spelling words. At the end, you're going to find out which word has the most points. So what is the biggest total at the end? If you need to, you may even draw little dots over these if you need to help with your addition. So you can count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is up to you how you want to do this Scrabble spelling. Next, we have our owl at home. I want to remind you of some of the stuff that we're looking for. You're going to find 3 nouns. Nouns are our people, our place, or our things. This book is full of nouns, but you only have to find 3 of them. Next, you're going to find some verbs. Please remember that verbs are actions. So we're going to find words that are doing words. So those would be examples like jump, run, blow, or skip. Those are some verb words that you're going to look for. Next, you're going to look for some of our compound words. Remember, we had a full spelling list of compound words. Some of those words were fire truck, or birthday, or backpack. Those are all words that are two separate words but make a new word when they are put together. Next, you're going to look for words with syllables. All of you know how to count out syllables. Our spelling words this week are one-syllable words like prank, blank, yank. Two-syllable words are going to be like spelling or create. You're also going to find some words that have three syllables like butterfly. You're also going to find one word with four syllables like Alexander. That one has the four claps or four syllables. Now, right here it does say one word with three syllables. You can ignore those two lines because we are only looking for one word. Lastly, you're going to find three adjectives. Those adjectives describe. So you're going to find things that describe some of our nouns. So it might be a pink pig. Pink would be our describing word. Pig would be our noun. Brown dog. Brown would be our describing word. Dog would be our noun. Hard chair. Hard would be our describing word. Chair would be our noun. You're going to find three of those adjectives in your book. I hope all of that makes sense, and I hope all of you are getting into a great routine at home. I know some of you have started your own schedules. I think schedules are such a great idea, especially so that everyone stays kind of on the same page. Each schedule might look a little bit different, but I do think it is important to set aside specific time for each of these lessons. You do not need to sit down and do all of this in one go. Please do not feel overwhelmed. Please just set aside maybe a half an hour or an hour to devote to Blue Folder. We do not need to finish all of Blue Folder on Monday. We want to space out our work and not get burnt out. So please keep that in mind. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I hope you guys are doing well, and we miss you so much. Bye, guys.